Because it's always dark somewhere.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That was a good show. So a huge thank you to Peter for coming on. That was pretty awesome. And we're trying to get we've got like multiple startups.
Yeah.
Rocket Labs, Firefly Space, and there's another new one that I just saw. Hang on. I put it on a Reddit. By the way, for those of you in the live chat room, our Reddit community is kicking butt and taking names. Let's see here. Open Space. It's a Kickstarter for a rocket company.
Huh.
Yeah. So we've got 3 like Falcon 1 class launchers. I like how I call it all right. So we've got a couple people who are first time first time live viewers, right? So they watch the show, but this is their first time live. So we're going to do a roll call, not a roll call, but we're going to do a roll call. And I wanted to welcome all the new people. I also wanted to ask, so we have brand new bandwidth. And I noticed earlier that some of you were saying that the show isn't performing as well as normal from a bandwidth perspective, or like from it keeps buffering perspective.
Right.
So I'm curious to know who all is having issues, right? So who's having issues? It should actually be better bandwidth. We went from 100 megs down and 5 megs up to 300 megs down and 20 megs up. So yeah, no roll call, people. No, absolutely not. I'm gonna wait a moment for stop. Adrian says it stopped 3 to 4 times. Looked weird earlier. Colton says you think it's live stream. Not getting HD today. Interesting, BZ.
There was the instance during the interview where it seemed like his
connection died. Yeah, for a second. Yep, saw that. But it recovered automatically, which was nice.
Took a minute, but it did recover.
Yeah, 1 over alpha didn't have any issues. 430's working. Interesting. So, interesting because we were tracking similar issues with the SpaceX launch as well. Your internet, well, Coco fan, I can't fix that. So everyone seems to think it's live streaming, not our upload bandwidth. Okay. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get started with a roll call. Not a roll call. By the way, how was that show? I felt like my energy during the interview was lower than it should have been. Not true?
I thought you were fine.
That dude was saying some awesome things.
Maybe that was it. I was just listening to him. So I think what they're doing is I guess I didn't. I should have gotten excited about this. They're making a carbon fiber rocket
For cryogenic fuels.
with cryogenic fuels and their own engine.
Yeah,
And they're going to launch in a year.
that's pretty badass.
It's freaking badass, man. I'm glad that they came on the show, and I really hope that they're able to meet their timelines, because, oh man, that's really freaking awesome. Also, Firefly Space looks cool too. I like the idea of the Aerospike engine. I'm really interested in their propulsion, but I'm a huge advocate of next-gen propulsion because I think what we have now is silly. All right, roll call. Colton, Space Kitcast. Welcome. I know you're watching live, so welcome, because you don't always have a chance to do that. Ben Credible, I don't know who that is, but I hear he is devilishly handsome and incredibly intelligent. So welcome, Ben Credible.
Interesting.
What?
I don't have Space Kitcast up there like you do. Go on.
Oh, well, you're using a different client.
I see that.
Oh, okay. Duta. Thank you for directing the show as always. You did a stellar job. Threw you for a loop in the what the hell were they called? The comments, because I forgot to mention, and this was my fault for not telling you. The board got powered down and reset to defaults. So
I figured it out.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the first effect, and I was like,
Poor thing.
"Oh, I forgot to tell him about that."
Slacker.
That was my bad.
Just so everybody knows, all these buttons have to be set a particular way in order for the show to run.
Yeah.
And when Ben doesn't do it, I have to do it. And it's fun when I don't know about that it needs to be done.
Yeah, and I was running late today, and so I was kind of rushing to. If you notice, we broadcast, like, even the live stream event didn't go up like right away. But yeah. But thank you, Dada, as always, for helping to make the show go. We could not do this without you, so our huge thank yous. And everyone give Dada a thank you, because seriously, if you remember what the show was like a year ago when I had to direct and do it, yeah, round of applause. Direct and do it myself, it's not nearly as good. It's not even in the same league of as good as when Dada does it. And now I need to convince his fiance, right? Fiance?
Not yet.
His not yet fiance, his girlfriend.
Baby mama?
Baby mama. I don't know how all of that works. I need to convince his woman.
That explains a lot, actually.
Oh, it's
now that
super
you say that.
Girls are confusing. I need to convince her to help with the show, too. Helldesk, welcome back. Adrian and Adrian C, welcome back, and welcome back twice. Aerospike, that's a great name. Because I like in fact, Aerospike, you need to leave that as your if you change that because I said I like Aerospike engines, you need to leave that. That is your new role. You are an Aerospike engine. You get a roll call because that was such a freaking awesome username. Oh, I can pull my earbud out. I'm like, oh, this itches. Ah, thank God. It goes in the ear canal. Like, it goes into your ear. It's really freaking good. Like, the earpieces are amazing. But you can only wear them for like an hour?
Yeah.
And then you're like, ah! Let's see, who else have we got here? Aspen, welcome back. Badger Legs, welcome back. Ben Ecoder. I don't know. Benny.
I like where Adrian says, I think we're different Adrians. How do you not know?
Yeah, how do you not know? Wouldn't you know if you were logged in twice? Where was I?
Benecoder, so you're on Burns.
Okay, but Benecoder is a newbie, right?
Doesn't matter. Benecoder just left.
Oh, well, bye, Benecoder. Burns, welcome back. BZ922X. Not BZ Wing Zero, but also welcome back because I seem to recognize you. BZ Wing Zero, welcome back. Carrie Ann.
What?
Welcome to the show.
Oh. Where am I?
Castor, I think you're a newbie, or at least I don't recognize your name, and I'm a terrible human being. I forgot you. So welcome to the show. Citizen 07, 27, 29, 36, 73, 84, 93 do not know how to type their own username into the chat rooms. Shame on all of you.
Maybe they want to stay anonymous. Have you ever thought about that?
No, we don't do anonymous here. We do awesome here. Can you move those over to the side for me?
Maybe.
But welcome, citizens, to the show. Cool dude, welcome to the show. Dad Dog's here.
Hi, Dad.
Dad Dog's my dad. Welcome to the show. Is Mom Dog there too, Dad Dog?
Probably. Or she's working.
And Dad Dog, how are the birds doing?
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, Castor's been here. But, that's all right. Keep going.
Dan Haribo, welcome back. David, I assume, welcome back, I believe.
Yeah.
Destructor 1701. As I understand it, Destructor, this is your first live show. So welcome to the live show.
It's their first after dark.
Destructor, this is your first After Dark, so welcome to After Dark. Does and Does underscore, welcome. Fawad and Fahuku Gods, welcome.
Fahuku Gods.
George P. Burndell.
Oh, you get a full name. That's good.
What do you get?
I get Burr. George P. Burr.
George, welcome to the show. I don't recognize your username, so I believe this is either your first time or... no, Mom Dog. Ugh, lame.
Your father's girlfriend is doing well, though.
Father's girl. Hal 9000, welcome and open the pod bay doors. Hans Klop, welcome back, I believe, if I remember right. Han Solo, welcome back. Java Guy, welcome back. JDNZ82. Is that a welcome or a welcome back?
Sorry, Dad Dog. That's what your wife calls her. Speaking of the birds.
Oh, so is JDNZ82, is that a new person?
I don't believe so.
Welcome back. Jet for me, who appears to be away. Welcome. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, Jet For Me makes the application called Mission Clock available on iPhone. It's one of the reasons why I'm considering when the iPhone 6 comes out, if it doesn't suck, I may move back to the iPhone because I don't have Mission Clock on Android. Jimbo Slacker, welcome back. Jim Howard, welcome back. JP, welcome back. Kelshies, welcome back. Coco Fan, welcome back. Ludwig F. I believe that's a welcome to the show, Ludwig. I don't think I recognize your username. Luke B, welcome back. Max, welcome back. Mind, welcome to the show. I told you in my mind. Mini Elon and Mini Elon 2, welcome back. Mr. Huggy, welcome back. Nerds Said, welcome back. Nick Forever. Did someone mess with it?
No. No, keep going.
No, I'm not even going to mention that name. Nerd Said, welcome back. Nick Forever, welcome back. 1 over Alpha, welcome back. Pills, welcome back. PSN, welcome back. Corkspin, welcome back. Random Finn, welcome back. Rockets Be Cool, welcome to the show, or I assume... Is that a newbie or is that someone messing with me?
I don't actually recall that name.
All right, so welcome to the show. Sandforce, welcome back. Science, Sean, what? Science? Sean 1, welcome to the show. Sir Game-A-Lot, welcome to the show. Star Wars Sucks, welcome to the show. Tesk Eng, welcome to the show. TH, welcome to the show. Trebles, welcome to the show. Verns Said, welcome to the show. Warebox, welcome. Wet Melon, welcome. XS Pager, welcome. And BZ, I'm smarter than just renaming. I see what you did. How you have to be way more creative than that for me to not see it. That's
right. JDNZ82 kicks Star Wars Sucks, which is funny because Star Wars Sucks isn't one of the users in the room.
Yes, they are. That's what I read. That's what I saw.
As soon as I saw it, that's why I was like, oh, I wonder how you're going to handle that.
So, for those of you who aren't patrons and who haven't seen it, Dada, can you slam Media Player 1 up in program so we can see the new... this is the current revision of the logo. There were some other revisions that we had gone through and even a huge departure from this, and I was flamed on the internet and scolded, so I'm like, all right, I get the idea.
Wait, you were flamed.
I was. No, dude, let me read the comment to you. So, now, they did explain, and it did make sense.
I read it. It was my logo.
I understand. But you can't take everything that the internet says to heart. So I ignore, not that I don't love you guys, but I ignore a lot of it because it's like, well, I don't like change. Well, screw you. All right. But, right, so a lot of you, unless it's constructive, there was one constructive comment. And I think there was like, of the 20 comments, like one constructive comment. But Gerald something said, it was awesome. All right, where is the comment?
At least Jeffrey liked my logo. Thanks, Jeffrey.
He says, reminds me of the old NASA worm logo. Maybe just... Oh, you know, let me call it up. Let me bring it up so people can see it. I did not think it would... Like, the internet hated it. I actually kind of liked it. But there was a good point, which I'll talk about in a minute. Dada's like, don't show them the logo. Everyone hates it. Log in.
No, oh, yeah, except I liked it.
I liked it too.
Roll call, join the room, by the way.
That's cute.
Yeah, I thought Castor wasn't a newbie.
Castor's not a newbie? Did I say Castor was a newbie?
Castor.
Castor?
Hal 9000 wants to know, Dada, where'd you get your name?
Don't tell it. Hal's trying to kill you.
Nope.
All right, there you go.
What if Sal asks?
You just learned about Sal the other day.
So?
So there you go. All right.
Apparently.
Supposedly.
No, apparently. Apparently.
Apparently.
So apparently I've never been on live TV before.
So that was the concept logo. I liked. Let me tell you what I liked. I liked that it was kind of a puzzle and you had to kind of work it in your brain. I thought it was cool. I liked how the T was stylized into the M. I thought that looked neat, and that the R was just the revert. Like the T and the R were kind of reversed from each other. I liked that the O became. I really liked that.
Yeah.
I thought it looked really freaking cool.
there's a lot about this logo that I liked.
Right, which is why I posted it as a, hey, this is kind of cool. What do you guys think? And I was expecting everyone to be like, boom, nailed it. This is what we were expecting. The internet, however,
the interwebs.
Quote, reminds me of the old NASA worm logo or maybe dyslexic Hebrew script. No, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why are you overthinking this? If the program has a problem, it's not the logo or technology, it's the fact that your talent has not taken any acting classes and cannot present as well as they could. Don't buy another gizmo. Do some night school. Acting 101.
Which is funny because if the show was scripted, that would be a totally legit thing to say.
Yeah, actually, so they did.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
I actually wrote back and went, well, that was harsh.
no, but
they did write back and saying, all right, I didn't mean for it to be harsh, but I did this. Responding to experience in my producer from my $1 public access show in New York City, Trek Talk. And basically the idea is bought the video toaster, bought all this gear, did chroma key, did all these cool things, but neglected the content. And because of that, the show sucked because you can have the best technology in the world, but if your content sucks, you have nothing.
Right.
So we had a similar problem in season two, was it?
2.
Where the content just sucked. It just wasn't good. And we have been working on fixing that for years. And I don't feel like the content is at fault, nor do I feel like we don't present it well. We're not professional talent, and I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I want us to be hyper-polished.
No.
I want us to be human.
Yeah.
And I want us to be able to take extra time and talk about things that we think are cool and have a conversation with you as opposed to having a one-way speech at you.
Right.
Right? I think that's the difference. So, interestingly enough, we do things like we don't spend time on chroma key, as you can tell. My arm turns blue when I do that. We don't spend time on any set stuff. We want to. I mean, these are things that we want to do to improve the show because I do believe that all of it matters. The audio matters, the video matters, the content matters, the presentation matters. All of these things do matter, and the details do make a difference. That doesn't mean you need to buy all the big, huge, expensive toys, but it does mean that you need to pay attention to the details. And the logo is a detail you need to pay attention to, especially since we would like to open a swag store. We want to give you the ability to buy cool mugs and shirts and things that say TMRO on it, and if the logo sucks ass, you're wearing this crappy logo on your shirt. So the little minute details do make a difference. Really, you really wanted to get that like that. So this is, the logo that's winning right now is the one with the squared. I keep saying squared edge. I cannot get that verbiage right. The rounded corner rectangle as an O. I think that made all the difference. I kept trying to make it circular. In fact, I even told Duh to make it a perfect circle. And I saw that, and I think my immediate word was ew.
Ew.
Ew. I don't remember what I said, but I hated it. And
hated it.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's all. I think I ended. There you go.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. There's going to be a little bit more work that happens on the logo. Some of the spacing isn't quite right, but I think we're pretty much done with it. Squared circle. Yeah. I think.
You know what? You know what it is?
What?
Just like you, it's a special rectangle.
It's a special rectangle. Just like me.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So the thing with the logo, I want everyone to understand where it comes from and why we have it like this.
You did even change that one. Good for you.
I changed what one?
I didn't realize you had changed that O.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we changed it here.
Like you changed it over here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So here's where the logo comes from. Here's what it's inspired from. Back in the 1960s, we kind of had this mentality of we can do anything. Mm-hmm. We can put humans on the moon. The Von Braun era, we can build space stations, we can build space shuttles, we can send humans to Mars. What's next? It's not are we going to go? It was just assumed that we're going to go, and where we're going next.
Soon and often.
Soon and often. That was kind of the anything was possible mentality. And so we wanted to harken back to the anything is possible mentality and have a little bit of that 60s feel in it. That's where the T comes from, and the TMRO. It's also where the main logo portion of it, the kind of the spires with the planets, and it has a little bit of a 60s feel to it, but it also has a little bit of a sci-fi feel to it, because I didn't want it to be purely 60s. I wanted it to be something that you kind of looked at and you kind of had that throwback feeling of anything is possible, but at the same time, it's now the year 2000, and looking forward, so kind of a 60s/2100s, like a weird meshing of these things.
Right.
And it's hard to get all of that meshed together well. And a lot of people it's change. People don't like change. I get that, I understand that, but I think it actually is coming together quite well. So the things that we need to test next on the logo are taking the T and tipping it up a little bit. Dud is a pretty big fan of having the T go up, and from a inspiration standpoint, it makes sense because it's almost like you're looking up. Right? It kind of has a forward up momentum to it.
Sure.
The reason I haven't liked it thus far is it creates this weird gap in between the characters, between the top and the bottom of the characters, and then you have to make each character get bigger, and now it looks more like a cartoon. So I haven't liked that. But if we can find a way to not do that, and then
we are slightly cartoony though.
A little bit, but I don't want to add to the cartoon.
I'd like to see it.
You've mentioned that you would like the M looks like it's slanted, but the R and O are not.
Yeah.
So what would happen? And that was kind of by design.
Because like the T is like this, the M is like this,
well, half
and the R
half
is
half of the M.
Yeah,
is like
half
that.
of the M. I don't know.
And the other half.
It's a little bit.
So see what what would happen if we were to kind of italicize the R and the O, make that go. But overall, and the neat thing about italicizing it is, again, it kind of gives it a movement to the right. It has a flow, kind of a forward flow to it. Right. So that might work well. But until we got the O correct, I don't think I was able to see anything else. I think we got the O correct now. It needs a little bit of love, like the top and some of the spacing, but the general shape is correct now. So now we've got the general shapes correct. Now we just need to tweak them and see what else we can do. So I think we're probably, what do you think, Dada, a week or two away?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think we're probably a week or two away from having a final logo. Once we have a final logo,
then you can start changing all the slates.
Oh, hell. Yeah, so once we... So realistically, the opening animation and the closing animation will likely not be updated until January 2015, because those are a pain in the ass to do. But yeah.
Oh, what is that place called?
So anyhow, so everything else, so it'll be updated in all of the Patreon slates, it'll be updated on the websites and stuff, but the opening and closing animations, those are large and expensive and hard to do. One other thing we'd like to do, and there's a great, amazing conversation on Reddit, the TMRO subreddit, talking about what you think the $1,000 Patreon reward goal should be.
Right.
I don't believe that the $1,000 or $1,500 goals are correct.
Okay.
I think they should be something else. I think we can just eliminate them completely. There should be something there, like there should be $1,000 and a $1,500 goal. But what I think we've placed in there, which is remove YouTube advertising and go to Livestream Enterprise. I don't think Livestream Enterprise adds anything of value to the community, so I don't see why we should pay $1,000 per month for it. I mean, yay, we get an unbranded player and we can do a little bit more with analytics, but whoop-de-doo, right?
Right.
So why spend the extra cash on it? I don't think that removing the ads, I think that anyone who doesn't want to see an ad has Adblocker Plus already installed.
Right.
Or they're watching it on Roku where there's no ads already, or they don't really mind it because the show has these natural breakpoints to it where it's okay to actually take a moment, have an ad, and then change subjects a little bit.
Yeah.
In fact, before we did that, the show was like one long show without breaks in it. It just did not work as well. So we would, even if we got rid of the ads, the YouTube ads, we'd still have those two breakpoints. We'd still roll the calendar because everyone loves that music, which, by the way, it's one of the things that I think has survived since season 2.
Yeah, it's.
I don't think we've changed that slate at all.
Yeah.
Now, my plan is to change the video, but I like that music. It works extremely well, and I have no plans to change that. So I'm wondering if what those $1,000 and $1,500 goals should be. Please post that on Reddit inside of that existing conversation. It's really great thus far, and I'm open to any ideas, anything that you think would be, what would help you, what do you want? What is the show missing that you're not getting that you think we could add if we got to $1,000 per episode? Next part is we want to change the set and possibly the location of the show. What?
BZ mentions that we have survived since then.
What do you mean?
You said it's the only thing that survived since season 2.
Oh, that's true. Yes. So, I think with the new logo, we're thinking of doing like a pure white background with some sort of cool shape on it, like a 3-dimensional extruded, like repeating kind of shape thing to it. Getting a white table, and then kind of like a downlit front or a front lit. So it's a very white and stark, and then any colors on the desk like would be a bright blue or, you know, just a really bright poppy color. It wouldn't be blown out white. It would just be kind of a cool looking 3D thing. We'd still probably have the screen, although I'm tempted to tip it on its side. I have no idea. And then possibly not in Minnesota, Dad Dog. And then possibly finding a warehouse space to permanently house TMRO. So we'd have a set where we could actually just show up to. It wouldn't be in our apartment anymore. And we would actually be able to just kind of, you know, drive down, set up, do what we need to do. And then potentially even bring in a live audience. I think that would be really cool, although I don't know if we're large enough to be able to pull in a live audience. Fawad, if we could get fiber optic internet, we would. That is independent. If I can get faster, better internet here, we buy the best internet we can right now. There is nothing better that we can buy. There's just nothing here. Now, by moving to another location, part of that move, we could actually look for Google Fiber, which actually isn't out here anyhow, so it doesn't matter, or Verizon Fios, or something where we can get a good, solid connection up. Destructor 1701, how much of a pain in the ass is having actually, it has pros and cons. So the con is that we never strike the set. So it is always...
That seems like a pro. Is it really a con?
Well, it's a con to us living here because the cameras are always in the way, the lights are always in the way.
Sure.
The pro is that it's never... We never
it's like never have to strike the set.
No, but I mean, we wouldn't strike the set if we had it in its own space either.
I suppose.
Right, so it'd be its own permanent... the other con is that we're space limited, right? So we can't go much further that way, and we can't go much further that way because there is no space. And if we had a full warehouse that was, you know, a couple stories tall without support columns in the way, we could build a nice background kind of set in that whole area and actually make it look really nice, I think. Those are the cons. The pros are, when we wake up, we walk out here and start the show and then sit down at the set. And we didn't have to drive anywhere to get to where we need to go.
Right.
So it was just immediately ready and off you go.
Yeah.
You didn't have to drive.
And yeah, whatever, Dada.
I quit.
No. What I just heard was that he wants us to move to his place. Right? So you don't have to drive? That's what I was hearing. You don't actually need that baby room, right?
Come on over.
Come on over. In the middle of the show, you just hear,
All this crap can live at your place, man. That's fine by me.
They asked how big the apartment is. It's a little over 1,000 square feet.
Doesn't Dutta live in the basement? Yeah, he could live in a basement. I don't know. He doesn't live in my basement because I don't have one.
So driving to Crow River Coffee was dangerous at times because of whiteout conditions. But more importantly, it was a 50 or 45-minute drive.
Easily 45 minutes.
It was a long drive.
Which the thing is, it's not that long, right? We drive about that far to get to work every morning.
But we don't need to drive that far to get to.
The difference is, though, we drive that far. We drove that far to Crow River Coffee.
Right.
We were only there for a couple of hours, and then we'd have to drive that way back too.
Yeah.
When you're at work for like 8 or 10 hours, it's like it doesn't even matter anymore.
Right.
You don't feel the difference. It's just, yeah. Dad Dog, that would be great. Once Zeldad retires, which it will be, I believe, Halloween this year, y'all can drive out for the holidays. It's fine by me. and we can construct something. I'm all right with that. I don't know where, and I don't have the money for it, but yeah, I'm totally okay with that.
Another place I'd love to do this from is Tomorrowland Terrace at Disneyland. I think if we watched our language, we could actually...
Are you looking at me?
No, I just was looking over.
I haven't sworn this entire episode.
Yet. So...
Fuck you, man.
I think that would be really sweet. I think that would be really cool. I feel like having Tomorrow from Tomorrowland would be an amazing thing. The set is perfect.
Would
having
it be
the people out
renamed Tomorrow from Our Land?
there from our land. I think that'd be really cool. I'm watching the latency.
So long as you don't get interrupted by the Jedi Training Academy or Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's a good point. We could move the showtime too.
That would be awesome, though. We have to move because Jedis are coming through.
I find your lack of content disturbing.
Oh, Mini Elon, we could totally do After Dark there. Just be different After Dark. We'd be pulling people up from the audience and talking to them about space.
Yeah.
And what they know. And, I mean, it would be... We can make After Dark interesting. Fret not, my friends! We can always make After Dark interesting. Trebles.
Yes!
Also, I live on the Reddit community. Reddit.
2 hours sooner? That's not going to happen.
I mean, it could. Although today I was scrambling to get the show done.
Yeah, I suppose it could be 2 hours sooner if it was on a Sunday.
Where is it?
You want to say? Black Project's probably not much. You know how it goes.
My current favorite post on Reddit is here. It's the you've been watching too much TMRO when.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. I like Amshmuru says, been watching too much Tomorrow when you consider Ben and Carrie Ann to be fashion icons because of their t-shirt selection, which, by the way, all of my t-shirts are from her.
Yeah, I buy his whole,
My entire wardrobe. I have no... she just shows...
That's not entirely true, because you will pick out your own jeans and shorts, which is how you end up with weird things that look weird on you.
Yeah, anything that looks weird on me is my fault. As Chris Radcliffe says, you find yourself doodling TMRO logos in meetings. It's all right. It's right, because, Dada, I'm sure you've done that. Or you find yourself directing the show.
Yeah, you've been watching too much Tomorrow.
Larsenator says, when you can't stop saying epic-sode.
Yeah.
I missed what he said. That's all right. Chris Howlett, which I love this, and I think it's awesome, but it's terrible at the same time.
Yeah.
You cancel plans to see family or friends so you don't miss an episode of Tomorrow. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I love it. Nuke Dan, who is in the room right now, right?
I believe so.
Nuke Dan, and if so, I don't see him.
He wasn't here earlier.
Bummer. I was going to ask him. When you're having a discussion with a space-minded physics professor and you know exactly what Ben and Carrie Ann's opinion on the topic at hand would be, happened to him today. Or her, I suppose. I suppose him. Also, any event that requires you to be away from your computer at 2100 Universal Time on a Saturday causes major disruption to your mood and possibly a little cursing. Nick Florva says there's no such thing as too much Tomorrow. I'd watch it on a daily.
I think there is kind of too much. There was one season where every single conversation you and I had for like weeks on end incorporated the show in some way, because it was when we were doing the pods as well.
Okay.
So it was constantly, we were either writing a pod, talking about what to write for a pod, shooting the pod, re-editing the pod, talking about the show. What are we going to do for this show? It got to the point where I said to you, I can't do this right now. And I think we both played hooky from school. Or not school, from work. And we went to the Mall of America for a day. Do you remember?
No.
It was like season 2 or 3 or something like that. And I'm like, I need to speak to you about anything other than, are you hungry? What time do you want to go to bed? And space crap. Like, I was so done. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. And I love space, but it was all this sort of like ongoing, did you write this? Did you see this? Did you talk about this? We should write that in. We should not write that in. I think we want to talk about this. And everything was, at the time, Space Vidcast. And I was going a little bit crazy.
Luke B, your mom can watch the show. My parents watch the show. By the way, Mom and Dad, I'm so sorry.
My parents can watch the show. Yeah.
See a jet for me. See you, Rick.
My mom's watched it a couple times.
You know that's on camera, right? You're driving everybody bonkers.
Really?
Everybody. He already drives me crazy with that crap.
So, yeah. Yes.
Drives me bonkers.
There
are times I have kicked him out of the bed because he does that at night.
I never stop moving.
It's so annoying.
Ever. I don't think I ever have.
That will be in the divorce papers. In case anyone's wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, I still want... Yes.
Should we just change cameras? Because you're going to continue to do it.
I'm going to continue to do it. No, I'll just do this the whole time.
Oh, I will hit you on camera. I don't care.
It's not my fault.
I didn't say it was your fault.
Destructor 1701, I'm tapping my leg.
Oh, annoying.
Always.
The best part is when he just starts to look impatient. So we'll be out trying to buy something and you're asking the salesperson about something and you start moving and it just looks like you're like, ah. You look like you're
Usually
impatient.
I am like, ah.
But you're not.
Because salespeople are not always smart.
You're not always impatient.
I can't stop working and I can't stop moving.
Dad dog is sitting in the closet, actually.
Oh, go get it so you can see that we actually have it.
Okay.
So we got Dad Dog a SpaceX, one of the nice SpaceX employees only coats. And they're nice. In fact, when we had to go back to Minnesota, we both had one as well, and we brought them in and they worked great, right? We've been in California for a while, and here you go, Dad Dog. Here you can see. There is your Christmas present from 2013. The problem is, for whatever reason, to prove that we actually do have it, for whatever reason, this went on back order, and even though it was the first thing that we ordered for any Christmas presents, he got his, we ordered this like months in advance.
I think it was like November, honestly.
Yep. I think it was.
Because we were like, that's the coolest thing ever. Let's get one of those for Dad.
He'll love it. And we even said, well, we already got him a SpaceX jacket. And we're like, don't know. This one's way cooler.
Yeah.
So we got him the jacket. So they're like, oh, well, we know you've ordered it, but it's on back order. Nope, Biggs. We'll let you know when it comes in. So every few weeks we check.
I'm pretty sure it came in after your birthday, which is March.
Oh, yeah. No, it came in fairly recently. I mean, it's been sitting here for a little bit, but not that long.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it came in August. Like maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah. Well, it's not even 2 months ago.
That's what I'm saying. His birthday was in March.
I know, it's August.
Couldn't even... Oh, my gods. Yes.
I think it came in like June, July.
Right.
Okay.
We are agreeing. Do you understand this?
I feel like I'm in trouble. All right. So, yeah. That's when it finally came in. And we checked like every month. We'd be like, hey, do you have this? Hey, do you have this? And then one day, like a batch of them came in. And his wasn't in it. And I was like, dude, the hell? And they're like, we know. So, Photoshop. Yep. And this is not the first time that happened to Dad Dog.
No.
I think it was last year's present had the same problem. You know, we need to order his Christmas present right now, because by the time it comes here,
That's what Ted
it'll
does.
be January.
That's what Ted does.
That's not a bad idea. We should do it right after the show.
Thank you.
What?
They're all laughing at us.
No, they're laughing at you. I was correct the whole time. What?
My mother told me if I didn't have something nice to say.
Oh, yeah. When have you ever listened to her? Aerospike, how does Patreon income compare to Epic income? One show of Patreon is about twice as large as Epic's entire monthly income ever was. If that helps. So Patreon has enabled us to do some much cooler things. We're still waiting for... So the way Patreon works is, unlike Epic, where we get the payments and like you would get your payment process. So every day we get a little bit more income thrown into the space at the time Space Vidcast bank account. Patreon does it monthly, so we have to wait the entire month, and then we get a lump sum payment, which actually makes a lot of sense, because if you're only spending $1 per episode, having 4 transactions against $1 makes a what?
What?
Tell me.
What? It's right there in front of your face. I would tell you, but we would just agree on things, and you would somehow magically make it sound like I was wrong.
The Fist of Death one? No, which one?
Anyhow, I'm sure you were saying something very important.
You're distracting. You know that?
I didn't say anything. He's
You
the
were-
one who laughed. And then you suddenly went, what is it?
You chortled too. You all heard her chortle.
Chortled because...
She chortled.
Dutta chortled.
It's Duta.
I had already seen the comment.
Which comment?
Smiled, looked at the camera, smiled nicely. You kept talking about whatever it was you were talking about.
Duta.
I don't like it when mommy and daddy fight.
We're not fighting. We obviously agree at very loud
I love
volumes.
the Dudacam. Actually, the Dudacam is one of those things that came out of Patreon. Each camera is about $1,000, a little under $1,000. And then you need all the interfaces to connect to the system and the HDMI to SDI conversion. We're going to get a new Casper CG system because the one we have right now is unstable due to the fact that we're using a Blackmagic card in a Dell system, which is a non-recommended config. They actually say on their website, don't use our cards in Dells, but it's the only computer we had laying around. So we'll get a HP Z420, which is a known good working system. So that will make it more stable. Also, it will enable more outputs. And we've got a social media script that's being written. So what will happen is during the show, you'll be able to tweet us, and you'll use hashtag TMRO, and it will show up on an interface on the tablet, right? Boom, boom. And I really hope you guys do that, and I'll try to make it easy for you if you use the website. But if you use Twitter, what that will do is it will let other people know that follow you that, hey, this is the thing that you're following, and maybe they can find their way back to the show too, because more people getting excited about space is, in my opinion, better. But then, in addition, we'll be able to actually bring those tweets up on the bottom of the screen, kind of like we used to with the live chat room.
You should tie that into a retweet from Space Vidcast.
A retweet from
the Space Vidcast account.
So I don't understand.
So somebody posts a comment. Mm-hmm. We like it. We put it on the screen, and that goes out as a tweet from Space Vidcast account.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. So it automatically retweets. So Sandforce, I don't like I don't like anything literal in the logo. So a literal Earth, Moon, or Mars, I'm not a fan of. I think it's a social media. Yeah, it's social. So then you'll get your name in the show, right? We'll bring your picture up, your Twitter account. It'll be burned into the show forever. On whatever you're talking about. This is where we want to use Kat or Kitty to. She'll have an interface and she can actually push it to the screen, and then I can say we're talking about this. We're talking about this. That way, all the noise is removed before we get over. Because I don't know about you, but trying to watch the chat room, make sure that we're on track with the show, talk to you, and be coherent all at the same time. That's hard, man. It's hard.
Being coherent for you is hard. someday.
That's true. As long as I'm not reading usernames, I think I'm okay. As long as I'm just talking about things I know, I'm good. As soon as I'm reading, just reading, I think that's where I fall down. Oh yeah, and to be clear, as you just typed in the chat room, chat room's not going away. Actually, what I'd like to do, so the first iteration involves Twitter. I'd like to also incorporate the IRC chat room so that as you guys are talking in the chat room, we can pull that into the social media thing too, and she can just star things that are kind of interesting, right. And then we'll have both Twitter and the IRC chat room, and then we can bring up either one in the middle of the show, but only the comments that are relevant at that moment in time. BZ asked what we should stop doing. If I had the ability to not do any of it, if I had, so Dutta is our technical director, in a correct control room environment, I would throw more people at this particular problem. So I'd have Dutta doing that. I'd have someone else doing graphics that feed into his system, so we could start doing some lower third graphics and name banners, and this is what we're talking about, the social media integration, all of that stuff. I'd have another person running CG for that. I'd have another person actually timing the show. So actually, I might have Dutta time the show because he knows it extremely well. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. But also in my ear. So I'm not timing the show. I don't have any of this technology in front of me anymore. That's all in the control room now. And they're going, you've got 2 minutes here. You need to talk about this. This person's saying that. In fact, the chat room and all of it's removed from me. And the only thing that's presented is like on this single computer, it's like this person said this thing now, and that's it. The director in my ear, you have 2 minutes remaining. So I'm not timing the show, I'm not looking at comments, I'm not looking at the chat room. Only the relevant stuff is presented in front of us so that we can use that on air. Because what I think makes this show magical and better than anything else is this live dynamic between us, where we can see what you're saying. I don't want to get rid of that ever. Where you have the ability to ask guests questions, which, by the way, I didn't think that there were any really great questions that happened during the... Did you?
No.
That's all, really?
Yeah. You're asking me about questions during when you were on?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I couldn't hear what he was saying, and you told me to leave my computer here. So where was I supposed to see questions in the chat room for?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's the other thing is you need more outputs here so that people can have headphones to be involved with the show.
Dutta, do you think we could just drop some speakers in there, like a speaker, and then you close the door?
I still think you'd hear it out there.
Okay. Well, I mean, splitting headphones is pretty easy. In fact, we have a headphone splitter in here. What we could do... Oh, that was my butt. What we could do... I'm not giving anyone context. What we could do is we could get the wireless IFB transmitters, which would make us completely wireless, put them on the same frequency, and then we can move the headphone splitter in there. Mm-hmm. And actually, with the wireless IFB transmitter, then you could be anywhere you want and still be able to hear.
Right.
Although you'd have to have that damn earpiece in.
That's if you could get it to transmit through walls.
The wireless IFB transmitters, I would be willing to bet we could get to go through walls.
And then you need a way for me to be able to talk to you without being on air.
That we can do today. There's a talkback feature on the board. We just need to wire it in.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I think we need 3 people in the control room to run the entire show like I want to. For what? I mean, as long as you guys like... I want you guys to understand, and this is important, that this show isn't about me asking questions to the guest or anything else like that. This is about your ability. You have the ability, if you want to know something from this guest, you have you have to have a decent question. You can't have it, like, don't be ridiculous. Don't just ask questions for the sake of asking questions. But if you have a good question that you're interested in, say it in the chat room. I actively look at the chat room for questions. Like anytime he's up full screen, I'm listening to him and reading what you guys are saying. So if you want to know something, all you need to do is ask. Destructor 1701, the hard part is we do the show based on what we kind of know and can present in a intelligent fashion. I cannot present astronomy in an intelligent fashion today. So it's harder for me to do because I just don't know it. Asking me about a Delta 4 and Atlas 5, what's a 401 config mean? We're set. But the astronomy side, and maybe I should fix that. Maybe I should go out and figure out how to make that go. Oh, no, for what? If you don't have questions, that's okay too. I will fill the 13 minutes with things that I think are interesting and that are just general overview for everything. Don't just ask questions for the sake of asking questions, but understand that this is a unique show in that you do have the ability to ask your own questions to the guests we bring on. We are your conduit, right? So you're not speaking directly to them, but if you want to know something from them, we'll ask for you.
No! Han Solo, for like the 300th time. If Dutta gets sick, the show will go on because Ben has been directing the show for about 6 years.
5 years.
Doesn't matter. It'll still go on.
It will be painful.
Holy effing cannoli.
Dad Dog, I think Ben knows astronomy. There are also I think he meant to say all sorts of those stick-on stars in the ceiling of his old bedroom. So, as a kid, there had those little glow-in-the-dark star things, and I enjoyed space as a kid. So I took these, and those popcorn ceilings. I shoved them into the popcorn ceiling to the point where if you take them down, you're basically ripping the sheetrock down with it. So, or the top layer of the sheetrock down with it. So you'll have to repair the ceiling and put new popcorn up.
No, I've never done the show without Ben. Ben has done the show without me. That's why he gets host and I get co-host. Because he can host without me, but I can't co-host without a host. Honestly. It was answered at least twice. No, 3 times in the chat room. I don't understand why Ben needs to answer it.
What do I need to...
You don't. I already answered it verbally and typing. Like, guh.
Clings to life. Anchorman that. Oh, Badger Legs, that's a good point. Even when I'm sick, I have done the show sick.
Yeah.
I have... in fact, I think I did that recently when Detta was here, where I'm sick, I'm on my deathbed, I'm pale, I'm doing everything I can. I pump myself full of medicine and uppers to try to get through this 1-hour show. I don't think we did After Dark.
No.
I think I was and that's our show. Thanks. That's our show. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
No, you were more like, and that's our show. So.
Yeah.
See you guys next week. It was one of those.
I did everything I could to be as bright and happy and upbeat as possible. We were done.
My favorite part, though,
I'm out. I'm going to bed.
Was when you're like, so yeah, we were doing this, and I was like, okay, I've got this one. So this is what happened.
I did manage to fade to black before his head hit the desk.
Oh.
Yeah, barely. I was out. No, I'll do the show sick. I think it's important to have a regular schedule. So you guys know we're at 2100 UTC every week. And there was a little bit of time there where we couldn't coordinate our work jobs in this schedule very well. I think we've gotten better at that, and we figured out how to work around that. And you'll notice that we're pretty freaking regular now. We may not post the live stream event page until 10 minutes before the show, but it still happens. It still happens week after week. And if we're going to take a week off, we're able to generally let you know the week prior that, hey, anniversary trip. I already know
right.
January, I think, 16th through the something, we're not doing a show of 2015 because we're taking our annual pilgrimage to Disney World. So put that on your calendars, everyone.
Oh, yeah. There was the coughing episode.
Yeah, last season we had 17 episodes. We've already surpassed that this season.
Nice. Actually, our anniversary is in June, but both of our birthdays are in January.
Right. So we take our anniversary trip in January over our birthdays, kind of make it a double trip. Because trying to go to Disney World over our anniversary is a terrible idea. It took us
Here's the
13 years to figure this out.
We got married when we did, specifically so that we could have as many of our family members, our close family members there.
Up to 10.
But I mean, there were certain people that we wanted to have there, like our brothers.
Right.
Between the two of us, we have 3 brothers, and they were all in school. And so this was the closest date we could get where they were out of school, but it was still early enough in the season. I mean,
Right. But so then we tried to make it. So really quickly, when do I call a season done? January 1st. Or December 31st.
Yeah.
At 23:59
anything
UTC.
that starts in January.
Remember,
is a
the
new
show
season.
is considered in UTC time, so we base it on UTC. So 23:59 UTC is the last second of this season. Next season begins January 1st. But yeah, so
Yeah.
we did that, and then we figured, oh well, we're a cute couple because we're amazing, and we're going to go back to Disney World where we were married, and we're going to do that at the same time we were, over the same general on our anniversary, right? So we would do that, and we did that for years. Not every year, but many years we did that. And actually, it wasn't until we moved. See, here's what happened. We lived in Minnesota, and in Minnesota, you've got positive 100. Is it my accent? Am I saying it funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lived in Minnesota.
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 I can't help it. Is positive like 110 degrees in the summer and humid, and negative 80 degrees in the winter with, it rips all of the water out of the air. It's negative water, if that's possible. It starts pulling the water out of your skin. It's amazing. So that's what we're used to. And when we go down to Disney World, it's not that different because it's the same as what we're in right now. Then we move to California. It is 72 degrees and sunny 360 days a year. It is 74 degrees and cloudy 2 days a year. And it is 68 degrees and drizzling 2 days a year. That's the extent of the weather here. So we then go down to Florida for our anniversary trip, and we're like, this is amazing. We step off the plane and go, what the hell is this? It was, 100 degrees and 80% humidity, and it was like walking through pea soup. So we then very quickly realized that, if you go to Florida in January,
Yeah.
it's not nearly as humid. The bugs aren't mating.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is the most disgusting thing ever.
It's so gross.
It's really gross. And it's like 74 degrees, which is really warm for us now.
And possibly a little rainy, but that's kind of okay because we never see rain, so it's
And
sort of exciting.
no one else is there.
Oh, and it gave me a good reason to buy rain boots.
And it gave you a good reason to buy rain boots.
Did they last through your trip?
We bought them after the trip. So, I don't know yet. But
Nick Forever says Patreon has something to do with more episodes, but as well as a lot more is happening in space news. Very exciting, worth doing a show for.
I think a lot of things just fell into place at the right time.
It did. It all kind of came together at the right time, like we started figuring out schedules. But you're not wrong. There is a motivation behind knowing that if we don't do this show, we won't get paid. And if we don't get paid, we can't do some of the cool things we want to do.
Yeah.
There is, the cold harsh reality is there is motivation there.
Yeah.
And so the more that happens on Patreon, the more we want to do. That's just the way it is.
And apologies to all Epic subscribers for last year.
For what?
For last year.
No, they.
When we only did 17 shows.
Yeah, yeah. It was last year our lowest count. I think our highest count is like season 2 or 3, where we have like 34 shows or 36 shows.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, we still have to get into the 30s before we start topping that. But I think we could do that this year.
No. No, so, but no. Destructor 1701, that's the thing. In Minnesota, there's real weather. There's the changing of the seasons. There's anywhere from negative 80 Fahrenheit to positive 110 Fahrenheit, which is a huge swing. You have to admit, there's crazy amounts of humidity. Sometimes there's not enough humidity. Other times there's tornadoes, there's thunderstorms, there's flooding, there's dry spells, there's snow like way too early in the season, there's snow way too late in the season. There's all different kinds of crazy weather that happens in Minnesota. However, Southern California has like no weather. No weathers. And I'm not complaining about not having weather. It's actually kind of nice to have some different things go on every once in a while. I almost didn't know it was Christmas until everyone started wearing red. But that was it. It was like because of the red
Allow me to
t-shirts.
give you these numbers in Celsius, right? The weather swings we have are from negative 62 degrees Celsius to positive 37 degrees Celsius every year.
That's a huge, huge swing. Huge swing. Yeah. So no, I'm not... Right, no. So I'm not complaining about the weather. I mean, the weather was crazy pants back in Minnesota. And now it's just like...
Pants.
No weather.
Now it's just pants.
It's shorts.
It's shorts.
There's just nothing. It's bizarre. So we've acclimated now to basically not having weather in any way, shape, or form. We went to Florida and we just about gagged. It was so humid. It was so hot.
It was terrible.
And there was some rain, though, which again was kind of nice because I don't see rain anymore. I don't even hear rain anymore.
It gets so cold in Minnesota. How cold does it get? So it's negative 80 Fahrenheit or negative 62. Yeah.
Negative 62 with wind chill.
Yeah. Now they're getting it. Now that I posted it in Celsius,
right.
the correct method with wind chill, mind you. It's so cold that the water on your eyes will actually begin to freeze. And they count in the number of seconds how long it takes for you to get frostbite. You generally have a hard time starting your car, although that's not even the coldest on the planet. That's in Russia, where the gasoline in your car will freeze, and in order to start your car, you need to light a fire under the fuel tank to melt the gas.
Right. No, we're not talking native temperatures. We're talking after wind chill. The thing is that when the...
before wind chill is probably like... It can get down to negative 40?
Negative 30, negative 40 Fahrenheit.
So before wind chill, it would be...
You put it in the wrong. There you go.
Oh, actually, it
is still negative
out.
40 Celsius.
Yeah,
okay,
it's negative 40
still,
Celsius.
Still, yeah, we're talking negative 40 Celsius, which is still really effing cold. I mean, you've got to give us that one at the very least. And then you add wind chill on top of that. There have been times during my lifetime where we had to shut down the entire state because it just literally was unsafe to go outside. It was so cold. They were afraid your eyeballs would freeze. So, so I know everyone's freaking out about that. But we're talking wind chill on top of that. Just like for those of you who are in much warmer climates, heat index, it's the same thing, but just in a different way. It's just the cold half of that. Heat index is when it says it's, plus 80 degrees outside Fahrenheit, but it feels like plus 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's for a number of different reasons.
Anyhow, that's the swing. It's not just that it's cold, it's that it swings from that to... the opposite side of the scale.
We always had this kind of thing.
And now we have this.
And it's just stupid. How do you do that without blowing up? Just very carefully.
No, just layers.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't swing 100 degrees in either direction from day to day, obviously. It's a couple of degrees at a time.
So, I don't know if I've told this story. When we did the Northrop Grumman Lunar Lander X Prize Challenge,
Say that again?
Northrop Grumman Lunar Lander X Prize Challenge. We were at the Mojave Desert, is that correct?
Yes.
In New Mexico. And this was the first time either one of us had been there and did not appreciate what we were getting into. And we thought, we're Minnesotans, so we'll be just fine. And I think we both only brought shorts and t-shirts because we looked at the daily schedule and it was like positive 100 degrees Fahrenheit every day.
Right.
And we're like, it's going to be hot, but fine. It'll be dry. It'll be all right. We didn't understand how cold it got at night. And we would set up before the sun had actually come out yet. And it was cold enough. I don't know how cold it was, but it was probably 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
I mean, it was a way down there.
Like I said, in Minnesota, the temperature degrees change from day to day is extremely minimal, particularly when it's that cold. But even when it's that hot, it wouldn't change much more than maybe 10, possibly 20 degrees at a time from daytime high temperatures to nighttime low temperatures. But in the desert, that's not what happens. As soon as the sun goes down, there's nothing to keep you warm, and everything's effing cold now all of a sudden. And it was the most bizarre thing. I had a jacket with me from Minnesota because in Minnesota, the temperatures were still cold, but we were going to the desert where I thought it was going to be hot. And I actually pulled out my North Face jacket to be wearing in the early hours of the morning because the sun hadn't risen yet, and I was freezing. I was cold. It was ridiculous. But I only brought sandals with me. Mm-hmm. The only other warm thing I had was this jacket, and thankfully I had some pants that were sort of the roll up, roll down sort of pants.
That same thing happens here. Similar thing, God. Not quite as severe. So at night we can lose. What would you say, Dada? 20 degrees at night sometimes?
Easily, maybe 25, 30.
Yeah. So it will be, It'll be 72 degrees. Well, no, in the summer it'll be up to 80 degrees in the day. And it'll get down to what, 68? You think 66 at night?
And that's the temperature changes like within an hour or two.
Oh yeah, so it's like 80, 80, 70, 60, 50.
Yeah, and you're like, holy crap, what happened? So with such a drastic change, it's so quickly, it feels much colder than it is.
See you, Nick, forever. All right. Speaking of, we've been talking about weather for a long time, so
yeah,
I think we're done, right? We don't have anything else of value to.
Need an open.
I need an open.
Yeah.
I remembered this time.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That one week when we didn't, I'm like, I don't care. We've been on the air for 500 hours. We're out. All right. I'll say. What's that?
Minneapolis climate averages.
Those are averages, dude.
I know. But look at the precipitation, too. Because you know that in, like, these months and these months, that's all just snow.
All right. I'll say, let's see here. Rosetta reaches...
Jacket on the chair.
Sorry, Dad Dog. Rosetta reaches the comment. Rosetta reaches 67p.
Yeah. SpaceX settles in Texas.
Okay, that works. Those two?
Sure.
We talked to Peter Beck of Rocket Labs USA. All right. Boom! Boom, chakalaka. One. Coming up, Rosetta finally makes it to 67p.
SpaceX settles in Texas.
And we have a live interview with Peter Beck of Rocket Labs USA. Stay tuned. Tomorrow begins now. Like that? Over the top cheesy enough for you guys?
SpaceX finds a homestead in Texas.
Bye, Destructor.
You do realize that was difficult enough to say, right?
Oh. I thought Destructor was leaving. Oh, he was saying bye to all the people. Yeah. 4 o'clock. We're basically done. That was it, right? We liked that one. That was good. It was over the top and dramatic. We liked it.
Go with it.
All right. One take, people. That's what you got. All right. On that note, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed After Dark. We'll see you in a week.